Bienvenidas, welcome. We've been gone for a bit, but we have some wonderful things in store for you. Are you ready for a summer recap? So we're going to give it to you today. So welcome again to Latina Literati, the channel for Latinas and the Latina friendly, which is basically everyone. So welcome back. We're going to talk to you about all the things we did this summer. Natalia and Shannon have just brought so much love to their restaurant. He's a sous chef and she's a patisserie chef. And so the evening began with appetizers that were just mouth-watering, amazing. Berenjena, eggplant, capota, the rosé that was recommended was chilled and just perfect, with all of the plates that were served, the different pasta dishes that we tried. The desserts were just over the top. Just everything is fresh. And in fact, Natalia was sharing with us that she buys the produce from Michoacan because she says it's the freshest, even though it's Puerto Vallarta is in the state of Jalisco. Michoacan is known for its very fresh fruits, and so she tries to buy all of the ingredients that she makes desserts every day with very fresh fruits from Michoacan. So she just really does everything with a lot of love, and you'll enjoy this restaurant in the romantic zone, La Zona Romantica, in the older part of Puerto Vallarta. It's really worthwhile an evening.
Amazing. So thank you for sharing.
The desserts were... This morning we're having breakfast at a typical Vallartan cafe. It's called El Campanario. It's in front of the Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, the Cathedral of Vallarta. And we're having a typical breakfast, beautiful chilaquiles with fresh tropical fruits. Glamorous camping.
See, these are the same trees.
The next trip that we took was to spend a few weeks in Guatemala. Guatemala is the land of eternal spring. It's a very beautiful country, a lot of volcanoes. And so the first thing we did was we went to the western part, an area called San Marcos, stayed a few days on a coffee farm. We came back to the city, and then we went off to explore Antigua. I should say before Antigua, we also spent a couple of days in Tikal in the jungle, which was amazing. Tikal is amazing. Huachantung was very special. Yaksha was great. We spent an afternoon watching the sunset, and you could just feel the jungle coming alive. So we go to the Mayan cities, the ancient Mayan cities. Was really special to spend several days there and just enjoy the beauty of the jungle. From there, we went to Antigua, which is the colonial capital, the old colonial capital of Guatemala. And it's also very beautiful. We were there for several days. It's a great walking city, and there are so many ruins and museums and things to do there that it's a special place to visit. On one of the last days, we went to the Lake Atitlan, El Lago de Atitlan, and we went to a place called San Juan La Laguna. And San Juan La Laguna is known for its cooperatives, really amazing cooperatives. They have a chocolate cooperative and a honey cooperative and an herbal plant cooperative. But we went to visit a women's cooperative that does traditional dyeing with plants that are really beautiful, and they do weaving, and we supported them, bought some clothing from them, and also went up to a vista point that you'll see in the video, which shows all of the lake. There's a beautiful legend that says that the wind fell in love with the lake and that the mist every afternoon covers the lake to give them privacy in their love. So that's one of the myths of El Lago de Atitlan. Really worth going to Guatemala and to El Lago de Atitlan. Beautiful, beautiful places. So the final place that we visited in July was, we left early in the morning at about 6 a.m. and by 3 we were having lunch in Baja, in Puerto Nuevo, and we stayed in Baja, California for a week to celebrate my birthday. And my sister organized this, thank you. And so we went it was a girls' trip, and we went down and visited a place that I didn't know anything about. I didn't know about it. It's called Valle de Guadalupe, the Valley of Guadalupe, and it's the Mexican wine country. So it has a climate not unlike Napa and Sonoma. It's warm, but it's also really close to the coast. Sonoma's close to the coast as well, but Baja was just beautiful, and I was absolutely taken aback and so impressed that everyone we met was perfectly bilingual. I was just amazed by that, and again, very welcoming, very, very kind. We received all sorts of great recommendations. Thank you, Rosie, for all of the reservations you made at some wonderful restaurants, really good food. And so these winemakers, the first winery, I think it's, we're talking about 80 years ago, brought winemakers from different countries to establish them. And now it's just this whole valley. It's actually several valleys that you can visit wineries, and you're served kind of nice tapas to go with the wines, and you can buy the wines there and tour them and see how each winery makes that particular vintage. And it's everything. It's whites and rosés and reds. I mean, it's the whole palette, the whole variety that you'd expect in Napa and Sonoma. And the quality is just really, really good. I was very surprised. We had some very, very good wines. So we really enjoyed that week. We went to a restaurant called Malva, and it was just, we had a tasting menu. It was wonderful. We went to another restaurant on my actual birthday called Fauna, also a tasting menu. It was just decadent, just absolutely decadent. There were 8 dishes, and it was too much. So I know that if you go, you'll enjoy it, so I recommend it as well. Valle de Guadalupe, check it out. Amazing place, beautiful people, great wines. The food is superb. Really, really, it's a great place to spend a long weekend or a week, as we did. It was well worth the time and energy to get there.
Go.
Uy, qué lindo. Gracias. Poor guy. He's like, can we just... I'm thinking that maybe we should push this down. Grazing spread. So you can do a platter, or you can do the whole center of the table. And you begin with cheeses, or they can be vegan cheese or regular cheeses. This is a goat cheese, and this is a Gouda, because it's so Gouda. And you also want height, so that's why you have things like celery that really cleanse the palate. They're very refreshing in the sun. And then you have lots of goodies like chocolate covered pretzels and nuts and different fruits and crackers. And then people just graze all afternoon. It's very easy, it's fun, and people love it. Enjoy. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the books that I read this summer. So the first book is The Messenger. Now, The Messenger is a book about Enrico Caruso's visit to Havana. amazing story. I'm not sure if it's true or not. I mean, I know he did visit Havana. I just don't know if he actually left a love child. But this is a story of the love child trying to find all of the answers to her parents' love affair. And so you go through all the different major towns of Cuba as she searches for hints. So it's a great story, and as you can see, it's a small book, so it's easy to get through. I'm getting through Tana French's mysteries. She has a whole series of mysteries. They're all set in Dublin. Shout out to the Irish. And so you get a real sense of life in Dublin and the different parts of Dublin as this group of detectives try and solve murder mysteries in different parts of Dublin. Again, it's an easy read. It's something for a train, a bus, a car, a plane. So I recommend her series of mysteries as well. The third we picked up in Guatemala. It's Leonardo Padura, Como polvo en el viento. And this book, as you can tell, it's a little bit heavier. And it's about a mother-daughter relationship, and they go from Cuba to Miami and then to New York, and it talks about their relationship and all of the ups and downs that they have. So it's also a nice read. It's well worth it. And he's a beautiful writer in Spanish, and his use of language just envelops you. It really entices you to the next page. So I totally recommend this one. The next book is The Magic of Saida, and it's by M.G.Vassanji. And this is an interesting book because it takes place in Africa, and it's the story of a doctor who's been living in Canada and goes back to Africa to look for his childhood love. And so you get a sense of what the places he visits in Africa were like as a child, and how they are now, and how they've changed, and how he's changed. His father was from India and his mother is African. So really interesting intersection of that part of migration of people from India to Africa, and how they interact with society in the different cities in Africa. I thought it was a really interesting book, and I enjoyed it. And last but absolutely not least is Edward Slingerland's Drunk: How We Sipped, Danced, and Stumbled Our Way to Civilization. And so this book is kind of an anthropological, scientific journey with our use of toxins. And so by toxins, I'm not only talking about alcohol, I'm obviously talking about cannabis and all of the natural toxins used both in traditional medicine and also in the modern world. But it's really interesting because it really starts tens of thousands of years ago. This is not something new, and it's quite funny. One of his premises is, if evolution could do one thing, it would tell you not to impede the last formed part of your brain, and that's exactly what toxins do. But anyway, it's a great read, interesting, lots of premises that I had never heard before, and a lot of good science backing it up. So I totally recommend this as well. All right, enjoy. I'm going to include in the space below, in the description box, I'll include links where you can order these books, because as you know, I always recommend Better World Books. Your library is the best place to find a book. Better World Books is the second place to find a book, because they sell books from libraries and used books as well as new books, and every one of your purchases funds literacy in our communities. Thank you so much for joining us today and watching this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoyed it. If you want to see any particular type of video, any topics covered, please comment that in the comments, because that'll let us know the types of things that you'd like to hear about. And as always, we wish you health and mucha suerte, mucho amor. Thank you to my technical team, Mija, te adoro. And thank you to all of you for watching another one of our videos, and we'll be back soon.